Hey guys, so today we're going to be deploying to Heroku. If you don't already, go ahead and install the command line tools for it, as it makes it just a little bit easier to deploy. You can come to this URL and do the Mac, Windows, or Linux install. And then next up, we are going to follow this little guide here for deploying our Docker image. So the first thing you're going to want to do is, first off, to run Heroku container login. So if you've installed the CLI, you can run this, and so just container login. I've already run this, so I'm all logged in. You might also have to just do a Heroku login itself to be able to access all this stuff. Next up, we're going to create a Heroku application, and you're going to want to remember the name it gives you. So I have Com Citadel. And the reason for that is we are going to create some add-ons. So come over to Elements Heroku add-ons, and what we're going to do is we're going to add Postgres and Redis. So if you just come over here and you can search, I'm going to get Postgres, and there's a whole bunch of services you can choose from to add Postgres to your Heroku instance. I just click the Heroku one and then install. And then we can select our which one, and of course you can pick what plan you want. And this is where you want to type the name of your app. So I'm going to do Com Citadel, and I'm going to add the add-on. Perfect. And then we're going to go back to elements.heroku, and we're going to add Redis. And again, I'm going to pick the Heroku one, install, and Com Citadel, add that. Alright, so now I have Heroku database and Heroku Redis. So now I have Postgres and Redis available to my application. Now what they do is they actually, similar to how Docker works, where it adds it as an environment variable, exact same thing here, and actually the names are the same. If you come over here to settings, you can actually reveal your config variables. I'm not going to do this because I'm actually going to keep this Heroku instance running. But you'll see your Postgres and your Redis URL there, and they are actually, so in our code, right, we are using right here, so process.env database URL, and in Redis we're using the Redis URL. Those are the same ones for Heroku, so we can use those. So the next step, we have both of those, is we actually just push up our container and whatnot. But before we actually do those, we need to make a small change to our code. If you scroll down to the bottom, I think it talks about, so ports. So this is an important one. With Heroku, we have to listen on the port that's passed as an environment variable. So let's go ahead and change our code to do that. So start server, and here's our port right here. So what I'd like to do is use, if we're testing, we're going to be using 0, otherwise we're going to use 4000. So this 4000 here, I'm going to say const port is equal to 4000, and we're going to use port here. So really what we want to use is process.env.port. And if this doesn't exist, then we just want to use 4000. That's going to be our backup. So when we deploy, this will be available to us in Heroku. Otherwise, if we're just running this in development, we'll use port 4000. They have a $sign right here. I don't know if I need to do I don't know if the $sign's actually what. I've used port before when using Heroku. We'll have to see if this crashes or not. But anyway, we're now ready to build our code and whatnot and push this up. So we had our DigitalOcean code, how to deploy it in a little script here. So we can take this script and modify it. And to modify it, we basically get rid of these 3 lines. So instead of that stuff, we still want to build our server. The next step we do is we tell Heroku to push our container. So we're going to copy this, and we want to release it. This is going to be our build steps now. So what happens is when we run Heroku container push, it both builds our container, then pushes it up to Heroku. And because we logged in already from the container, we have access to push our image up there. And then after we have the image basically in the Heroku registry, we are releasing it to our application so it then is available. And as you see at the end, we just open up our URL and it should work. So let's go ahead and run, and you want to make sure you're in the root directory, and go ahead and just run deploy. Okay, so this might not happen with you guys, but whenever my script ran container push web, for some reason it could not find the app that it was supposed to push up. So if this happens to you, you can go ahead and just hard code it here. So there's a flag called --app, and you can just actually specify which app you're pushing this to. And I assume if it couldn't find it for push, it probably can't find it for release, so I'm going to put it there as well. And then you can run this again, and hopefully it'll recognize which thing we want to push now. Alright, so when your image is done building, you can go to the settings and you can find the domain where you can access your website. So I'm going to click that, and it'll take us to GraphQL Playground. Now I'm going to go ahead and type out a register mutation to make sure this does indeed work. Email, and 10-minute email seems to be not working today, so I chose a different one, 10minutemail.net, and we'll try this. Path message, and we'll give that a run. Alright, nice. Come back over here, see if it pops up in a second. But yeah, so that is okay, cool. So that actually went pretty fast, and we should see like our confirm email. Cool. I guess we could actually even click this. So nice. So it actually, we confirmed our email on the Heroku account. So that is how you can publish to Heroku.